Morning, Didge. I can tell by your muddy paws and your silly walk that you think you're in trouble. What? No, stay down now. Good morning. Yes, what were you two up to out there in the middle of the field this morning? Well, see you later. They were out there barking about an hour ago. No idea what they were barking at, but they're busy this morning. Get her! Get her! Look at that. There's a concrete pad here. We've got a different concrete crew that isn't the bin builders coming in to kind of fill in some of this. We took the concrete out through here because we changed the heights of some of the stuff to try to get this to drain a little bit better. So they'll be coming back here to fill this in between the bins. We're going to be moving the exchanger, obviously building the dryer, the air system, all of that. But first, I have some official business this morning and a long drive. Well, not that long of a drive. I've got to go about 2 hours south of here to our shock builder's place and get a couple of shocks fixed for Onyx's race car. See, you can tell by the way it is that it's not right. That'll happen when someone hits the wall in front of you sideways and you climb underneath them and they end up on your hood. Fast forward about 9.5, 10 hours, it is almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But the shocks are fixed and I did several other things I needed to do. Our concrete pad is still there. That's good. Dad took off for the day and it's 4 o'clock at night and we're not going to start spraying soybeans until I'm thinking probably tomorrow. But I do have a guy coming with a drone, a spray drone, and I'm going to let him explain more about it once he gets here, but I'm kind of excited to see it work. Actually, I'm pretty sure that it's multiple drones. I'll let him explain. May as well unload some of our parts while we're at it. Got a shocks all done. Also got a significant pile of other parts that have been destroyed this year. All right, we got Thomas here, Thomas and James with Truss Services. We got two big, I'm gonna say big badass drones, BBDs.
Yeah, this is the AGRAS T40 here.
AGRAS T40?
Yep, the DJI AGRAS T40, and then right over here, that's the T50.
Okay.
Few differences, of course, but ultimately they're both made to do the same exact job, and that's spraying these farmers' fields. There's guys like myself doing it for custom, so you could call me up and hire me to come out and spray some acres, or you can buy them from me. I'm also a dealer for these things. Our operation is based out of Ohio, and we service people honestly all over the United States. So we have solutions for everyone. There's guys that want multiple different accessories and a number of batteries, generator, no generator.
So Thomas shot me an email several months ago wondering if I'd be interested in having him come out here and spray a field or some fields or however much or little as we wanted to. And honestly, I was just mostly interested in seeing these things work because I've rarely seen them in person. I have seen them work in person a couple of times, but certainly never on our farm. And as luck would have it, it's a little bit too windy tonight, so they're here from Ohio. We're gonna have them just spray. We're gonna be spraying water tonight, probably on the field right out here outside the yard, just to get the feel for it, to see what they can do. Haha. That's cool. Look at that. I can't help but like giggle every time that these things fire up like that. It's
See,
just cool.
If you're up here wearing a hat, it'll blow it off. So
It'll blow your hat off. That's why I'm on the ground, so it doesn't blow my hat off.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron briefly interrupted me here to work on a different cool machine. Aaron, why don't we just drive it instead of pulling it like this?
We're not that smart.
No, never have been.
See a little white?
Oh, I see a little. There's not much to see unless we terrorize them. Aaron's got the race car handled for the night, and there's a batch of new kittens in there, hiding behind the totes underneath the shelf, but they're a little skittish. They don't want to come out and talk. Well, we won't need too much, will we? How much water are we pushing on?
Probably 40, 50 gallons is all we'll need.
Okay. We are gonna head out. Those boys headed down the driveway here. I'm gonna jump down there and meet them. Didge and I are gonna go keep tabs on them, make sure they know what's going on. I actually got Didge locked up in here because, not because she loves Ranger rides so much, which she does, but actually because she really loves drones and I don't want her getting too close to those drones. And we can't go halfway down the driveway without Anna partaking in the Ranger ride. See, they have fun and now they're safe from the drones. Stick your tongue in. You don't want to be embarrassed on camera. We have now reached our destination after about 200 feet. All right, I'm gonna head up to the office here and see how this thing is run.
Sure. Yeah, so we have what every office needs, a good standing desk.
Yes.
So this is where we man our entire operation. We have our nice, beautiful gray landing pad here. I'm able to man both drones up here, 2 separate controllers. First things first is getting the map. So you can see here, I pre-programmed this map in here. All I do is go around the field and I go drop pins and then it'll automatically generate its route. So unlike the tractors you have out here,
Yep.
we have this automatic generated route. Now there's the ability to do an AB mode, an AB line mode, but this is the best way to go about spraying with the drone.
And we don't have to worry about following the rows for any reason, right?
No, we're completely in the air, so we don't have to worry about running over crop. We don't have to worry if it just rained.
Yep.
Which the ground looks relatively dry.
It's wetter out there than you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will it sink in?
A sprayer would, yeah.
Okay, not a problem.
Right.
Not a problem.
You've never had one of these stuck.
Yeah, I've never had one of these stuck, so Jim would be proud. I love this thing for many different reasons, multiple reasons, but my main thing is right here on this screen. It shows me right here the exact amount of acres I'm gonna spray in the exact amount of gallons out to the 100th. So right now I know I'm gonna need 48.45 gallons to complete this field that is behind us.
Sure.
Now, unlike a ground rig, you know, you go fly out, or not fly, but drive out, and you do your boundary around the field, and then you go back and forth filling in the boundary, and your sprayer automatically shuts off. This drone is a little bit different, and you'll see what I mean here once we get in the air. Instead of going around the boundary and going back and forth, which you can do, instead, it's gonna go back and forth. It goes right for the meat and potatoes. So instead of it going around the boundary, we're gonna go back and forth, and you'll watch as it slows down, it'll slow the pumps down. So it actually sprays as it turns to get almost every square inch of the field covered, which for the optimum use, you're mostly using these for fungicide, insecticide, you know, things that you're not gonna look and see, oh, there's a couple plants outstanding where, you know, the herbicide missed, that type of thing. So you're not worried about the application precision as much with this. I mean, you're talking about aerial,
Yeah.
rather than, you know, your ground rig.
So you're saying, like, when I look at this map now, it's going back and forth, but it's not going to go out like a ground rig and do the headlands or the end rows first.
That's correct.
It's just going to turn right on the end.
Yes. So right now, how I have it set up, instead of like your ground rig, you know, you're pumping right into the ground rig, you're mixing it as it's pumping in. This is a little different. It's a 13-gallon or a 10-gallon tank. So I'm not going out and mixing every little chemical into every 10-gallon or 13-gallon batch. I'm mixing them here in my 100-gallon inductor tanks.
Sure.
So it's a lot more efficient for me to run, and then, you know, I can be running here off of this tank, and this one can empty out as I pump it into here, and then I can have somebody else mix up my next batch so the drones never wait on the chemical.
Sure, yep.
So right now we have our water circulating in that tank, and that comes out to our hose reel, that's how we fill it.
Okay, so it's filling now. I can hear it.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's filling, and as you watch here on this controller, you can see there's a little icon that's moving. So as I'm filling it, there's load sensors right here.
Oh, yeah.
That are telling me exactly how many gallons are in that tank.
So it's like it's telling you how much of the route it can fly as it's
exactly
filling.
So right now, you know, I'm at 6.4 gallons, and it shows me out of the 13.2, I have my 6.4 gallons in there. I can go down back like 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
And then I can bring it back. Where that's gonna come in handy is say, let's say this field takes 5.5 gallon down and back. I can fill it twice or fill it for 2 rounds. Okay, that's 11 gallon. So I don't need to fill it to the 13. I just fill it to the 11.
Oh, gotcha.
It does I'm not burning battery on any extra fluid that's in the tank. So right now I'm taking control of me. I'm getting it to its start point. So right now it's pretty close. I'm gonna hit into completely autonomous mode. So right now it's doing its own thing. It's flying itself. I'm watching it. I'm still in control, but it's doing its own thing out here.
So you got 5 gallons to the acre coming out right now.
Yep, 5 gallons to the acre. And what's special about this
look
drone
at that.
specifically is it has 4 nozzles getting double the volume coverage, whereas the other drone here only has 2 nozzles or 1 set of them. So this drone is going to be able to go full speed ahead, 5 gallons to the acre, and cover a significant amount of acres in a very short amount of time. So right there, it's slowing down.
That's visually way cooler than I expected.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So right now, it's slowing down. It's doing its own turn pattern, and it's slowly adjusting its flow. So right here on the controller, there's a flow meter, so you can see all the data.
All right, what are we seeing here?
Yeah, so you can see we have our flow meter right here.
Yep.
Our speed, distance, altitude, and our complete area. So this flow right here, you can see it's fluctuating. That's where it's slowing down and speeding up as it's turning. And if you pay close attention to it, it's gonna slow down and you'll be able to see each side fluctuate its volume output.
He's gonna go ahead and swap some batteries on this thing, and then I'm gonna go follow it around. For camera reasons, it's a lot easier that we're doing water.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about anything.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's all you do to swap the batteries?
That's all I need to do is swap the battery. For most efficiency, like right now we're just going out and spraying water. We'll actually put the nozzle in and be filling it at the same time that we're swapping batteries.
Okay.
So usually I'm able to get this back up in the air in about 30 seconds.
30 seconds
30
to fill and
seconds.
swap a battery?
Yep, to fill and swap a battery.
That's almost NASCAR pit crew timing.
Exactly. We're just a fancy aerial NASCAR. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go out, get some good visuals here. You two sleeping? You good? I had the windows down for you. Oh please, it's cooler in here than it is out there. Didge, why are you acting like that? Did you do something you weren't supposed to? Didge, you look a little guilty. She looks like that a lot. Okay, the #1 reason to own a Polaris Ranger is to get killer footage of drones. It really doesn't feel right to be underneath a machine that's spraying, but it's just straight water. And man, that is cool. Okay, he's getting down on what he's got for batteries, so we're gonna get both drones going at the same time and kind of show you guys how that works. So you've definitely heard of the technology that companies are using now, like John Deere has a See and Spray.
Yep.
Or Green Eye's got one. Do you think that'll be on these someday, or maybe it already is on some of them?
Yeah, so these drones right now are just strictly spray drones. So when it comes to spraying, it's what it does best. And actually there's a tank here we'll show you later on that we can actually spread product as well with it. But with the See and Spray, there's a small camera drone that they have that is made by the same brand, DJI, that we're able to send out, and it takes images of the whole field, stitches them together, and creates a map. It's a code map, and you're able to make variable rate prescriptions off of that you can import into your sprayer, as in your ground rig, your side dresser if you use that, and also your spray drone.
Okay.
So in that case, let's say we have a green patch right there in the back, we're able to hit just that green patch if we wanted to with that drone being able to see it.
But it's something where you'd actually use the drone to map it ahead of time. Right now they're not using sensors on the actual drones the way they do with the ground rigs.
Correct.
Okay, interesting. So it's essentially doing the same thing in a different way.
Yes, and this actually has, we'll show you right here, it actually has a standard camera on it.
Okay.
So it, just like a camera drone, you're able to see everything that this drone is seeing from the air on the controller.
Okay.
So I can go out there right now without mapping this field and go hit some hot spots, or what I think are hot spots, just from this view.
Okay.
So I'm able to spot spray, but it's a little more manual. If you want a little more automatic, you fly it with that smaller camera drone first.
Okay. So they're both spraying right now?
Yeah, they are both spraying at 2 gallons to the acre.
Now that's, as cool as that is, that could also be terrifying.
Yeah, oh yeah. Actually, you'll want to get back here. We're gonna have to land the one very immediately.
Very immediately.
This one can hover a little bit.
Okay.
And this one will come back. This one, we'll land this one at the rear.
You gonna be able to land him behind that one?
Yep.
Him, her, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you've done this before.
Yeah, a few thousand acres.
How long have you been doing it?
So I've flown drone for about 5 years, doing spray drone. This is actually my second year doing custom application, and first year as a dealer.
Okay. So when you said you're a dealer, are you a dealer for just DJI?
Yeah, so I'm a dealer for all the DJI spray drones, also the Enterprise drones, so the professional grade camera drones, the thermal drones, the multi-spectral drones. That multi-spectral drone is actually what I mentioned earlier for the spot spraying. And then XAG, also a dealer for them. And we do dabble in custom trailer building. So feel free to take a look at the trailer and let us know what you think.
You said you guys built this trailer just recently, right?
We just custom built this trailer for our operation to be able to launch and land 2 or 3 drones off of this platform here to ultimately cover about 1,000, 1,500 acres a day with this rig.
That's a good day with a ground rig.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, think about the airplane. Ultimately, my goal as an operation with about 6 drones in operation I'm looking to do what an airplane can do in a day.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that.
Without the risk.
Right, without the pilot out there, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard stories about these pilots crashing into power lines and trees and whatever else.
But that's because they're all completely psychopaths.
I'm not gonna make any additional comments.
I said it, not you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I know a few of them, so I can say it.
Okay, okay.
Now you can sell this trailer and drone setup to a farmer or to a co-op, or how does that work? Like who would buy this?
Yeah, so farmers are looking to get them for their operations. So Zach, you're definitely in the running, or you'd definitely be a great candidate for one of these drones. It's basically internalizing as much as you physically can. That's what farming is seeing how much you can internalize. That's more money that you're not spending.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you're penny pinching, yes, this may be an expensive spray drone, but at the end of the day, you can go out and spray your own aerial application. Depending on the size of the farm, that could be a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
And you can go out and do your spot spraying, and you have an emergency. So if you have a wet year, you can at least go out and spray some sort of herbicide in the field and get these weeds under control when your crops are growing.
Well, and I don't know exactly, but I'm certain that those drones are not cheap. I'm sure they're expensive, but so is a ground rig.
Exactly.
And so is hiring a ground rig.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, with these drones, you're talking about, say, 30 to 40 grand for the drone itself.
Okay.
That's a lot of money. But say we'll pick on a high boy, a Haggy, for example, one of those front mount booms. You're able to go buy those probably, what, $500,000?
I'm sure.
used?
Yeah, right.
So you take one of those high boys, you're running over crops, you're still not able to completely flex with the weather. You know, you're very limited. Whereas with these drones, I've heard of guys, they'll buy a drone or a couple drones for their operation. So they get the aerial application side or the fungicide side, and then they go and buy a rear boom sprayer like what Zach has. So they cut their costs on a rear boom. So they trade their sprayer, and now they have drones being able to have, instead of $500,000, maybe it's $200,000 in a whole tender setup.
Sure. They're gonna load up the one drone here now, and we're gonna put, I guess I'm gonna call it the spreader box, in the newer one here, the big bad boy drone, which is, you know, it looks the same probably to a lot of you and to me, but that one's capable of a bunch more the way it sounds. Newer, bigger, badder. Anyway, we're gonna put the spreader box on it, and we're actually gonna go spread some grass seed.
Oh, yeah.
I just think, you know, he reached out to me on this several months ago, and I just thought it'd be super cool to have something to show you guys, to come see it, for one, to see it for myself out here on our field, see how it works, but also to show you guys. This isn't a huge promotional deal. These guys are not sponsored and they're not paying for this video. They drove all the way from Ohio to show what they got going on. Young guys starting a business, getting going, and I just think it's a really cool thing, cool opportunity for them, cool opportunity for me, and a cool opportunity for you guys to see. So I would say check them out. It's particularly on Facebook, Truss Services LLC, and we'll link that down below so you guys can go check that out. Not sponsored. This part we weren't planning on. I had no idea that these drones were even capable of this, but I do have some areas that need to be seeded. So back here on the north side of the shed, I need grass to grow right here because it just keeps washing out. And then I also want grass to grow here so I can park machinery and it's not always muddy. What's the model of this one you said?
This is the AGRAS T50.
AGRAS?
A-G-R-A-S.
AGRAS 250. T50. I'll just let you say it.
Yeah.
So with a small application like this, will you just fly it manually? Or yeah?
So I'm able to fly it completely manual from the controller. I'm also able to fly it in a what's called an M+ mode. And what that M+ mode means is that it will automatically adjust its rate and its height and basically any parameters that I set in there, and I guide it where I want it to go.
Okay.
So it'll automatically, as I slow down, it'll slow the rate down or speed up, speed the rate up. And so I'm able to get consistent coverage even when I'm in manual mode.
Sure.
Yeah, just like that, tank pops out.
There's the liquid box.
Pops right out, and then this is the spreader tank. with some finagling, of course.
So what's a common use for this? Like, how often do you use the dry box?
Out of 8,000 acres, I use it for 300.
And what were you applying?
So I apply some cover crops, sometimes grass seed.
Sure.
At least where we're at in Ohio, there's a small market cover crops. Can't say there's a overly huge one, but it's a little bit of something.
Yeah.
So I'll go over standing corn, so full height corn right before it's harvested, spread the seed on, and it'll get down through, because you have the propellers thrusting the product downward, whether it's the dry product or the liquid product. So I'm able to go out and get the product down. If it's fungicide, I'm able to get down to your shins. If I'm spreading cover crop seed, I'll say 80 to 90% of the seed is getting right down to the ground.
Okay. You said it holds 110 pounds in there? Oh, we could easily fit both bags.
Yeah, so right now, you know, what was this, a 50-pound bag, 40-pound bag?
It didn't feel that heavy.
I was gonna say 25 pound. Yeah, 25. I was way off.
Those are really light bags. I've got 2 of them, and I want this area covered thick, good and thick. So I'm gonna go get the second bag right now. He said you can take off with 110, 115 pounds in that hopper. That's crazy. I suppose when you think of the liquid they put on, water is 8 pounds a gallon. That's a lot of weight those things are carrying. How many pounds did it drop?
Yeah, so it says 40 pounds in it.
40 pounds remaining.
Yeah, so it said 8.7 pounds dropped.
Applied.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so every single time it comes back, you can see exactly where I went. So the green is where it was actually spreading.
Yep.
And then the white is where I was just flying
Sure.
and not spreading.
Okay.
And so it gives me a task summary whenever I land it that shows me exactly the amount of acres, the amount of time, and the amount that I either spread or sprayed.
Look at the bunny that came running out that you scared.
That's not too scary because
it's coming right towards us. If that dog, I wonder if the dog in the Ranger, she must not see it or she would lose her mind.
Yeah,
Okay, so we have increased the rate significantly just because it's grass seed and I want to get some grass growing. Maybe the camera will pick it up a little better here. You can definitely see it here when you're looking into the sun. There you can see that seed coming down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it sensed the implement there and stopped itself. Plenty of grass seed out here, also a bunch of water hemp, so that's good to see. There's 200 pounds per acre rate. That must be empty now. Well, that was convenient for me.
Yeah. I think I need to wash my truck again.
Yeah, we kicked up a little bit of dust there. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. That's really cool. Okay, you two are safe now. The drones are loaded up. All right, those guys are gone. Just want to say thanks to Thomas and James for coming up here and showing us those things. Like I say, check them out. It's a beautiful evening. I should probably go fire up the grill. Anna, you want pork chops or steaks? Don't care much? I would like some salmon. Salmon? Cat doesn't talk. There's only 2 voices. Cat doesn't get one. Sorry, Cat. Well, see you later.